final topic is going to be AV1 or new codec adoption. So, you know, when you're in charge of choosing which technologies you're going to support, when does a technology like AV1 come on your radar screen from us? I mean, you've heard of it since it was announced, obviously, but when does it come on your radar screen in terms of actually supporting it in a Warner Brothers product?
The first thing I typically will look at is device adoption, because that's really I think the most crucial requirement is that there has to be enough devices out there that we can actually deliver, you know, media to with a new codec that makes it worthwhile. Because there's going to be cost involved in deploying a new codec, right? Like first cost comes from just R&D associated with investigating a new codec, testing it, measuring quality, then optimizing your encoding settings and so on, right? And so that's both time and then also either manual or automation effort that needs to be done, right, to be able to just understand what is this codec, is it good, do I want to use it, right? And then if you suddenly decide you want to deploy that codec, right, there's going to be compute costs associated with that. There's going to be storage costs associated with that. And then in some cases, there might be licensing costs as well. Like if you're using a proprietary encoder, maybe you're paying them, or if you're using an open source encoder, well, you still might owe some royalties on just usage. And you're pretty familiar with that. I read one of your recent blog posts, and so I know that you've spent a lot of time, looking at royalties and kind of different business models that different codecs now have. So in order to justify those costs, right, in order to make those costs actually worthwhile, there needs to be enough devices out there that can be reached by that new codec. And so the first really question is, what percentage of devices that are active devices on a service are capable of using that codec? And interestingly, like this kind of goes back to that previous question that you asked, which is about device capabilities and how do we basically improve those things. So without good, healthy data coming back from players, coming back from these, apps that tell us what's supported on the platforms, it's hard to plan, what your next codec is that you want to deploy. Like right now, for example, if I wanted to estimate the number of AV1 decoders out there, my best resource would be to go study all the different hardware specs of all the different devices out there and figure out, which ones support AV1, for example, or VVC or LCVC, and then try to kind of extrapolate from that data. Okay, what does that mean? How do we project that onto our particular active device base? And so yeah, it's not straightforward today, but I'm hoping that if we can improve the device capabilities, detection and reporting, then we can also, get to a point where we can just, run a simple query and say, okay, tell me what percentage of devices that, this service has seen in the last week, supports AV1 decoding, and specifically maybe AV1 decoding with DRM support or AV1 decoding of HDR, right? And so it's like there's even nuances within just beyond just which codec is supported.